So hi everybody, I'm a CPython core developer, and I propose you to join me this weekend to sprint on CPython. So for the people who don't know, CPython is the C implementation of Python. It's half written in C and half in Python. So you don't have to know the C language to contribute. And if you don't want to touch the code, you can also just have a look at what people are doing. You can help on the documentation. There are many, many things to do. And I think we will be something like 4 or 5 core developers this weekend, which is quite impressive. So if you would like to get something merged, just come, because we are many people who are able to merge something. And there are a few more. There is also Pablo, there is Steve, and maybe some other people are going to join us for the sprints. I have no specific plan myself. My plan is just to help you to get on board on CPython, because it's more difficult to contribute to Python than to any other project, because Python has a very long history. We spend a lot of time to make sure that we don't break the backward compatibility. We have a high quality standards, and because of that, it's more difficult to get something merged in CPython. But the idea for tomorrow is to show you what we do and help you to get some changes merged. So that's it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, next is Nicole. We all know Nicole. Warehouse plans. Nicole? Okay, the next team is MicroPython. Oh, you're coming. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to. But the next, no, sorry. It's not. I just want to alert. The next team is Radomir and Michael. Please just get in line here then. Oh, so here you go.
Sorry.
Hello. Please welcome Nicole.
So as you know, I work on the warehouse project, and we're running sprints all weekend. So on our issue tracker, we have specifically noted particular issues that are great for EuroPython, things that we know that we can move forward on. And we're looking for contributions from all experience levels. So as I said during my talk, we've put a lot of work into making the code base easy to install, I hope relatively easy to install. And we have issues, everything from upgrading the documentation to obviously doing more complex things. So we'd really like to have your contribution. I'd also like, if anyone's interested, I'd like some people to maybe volunteer to help me with making sure that the project can be installed as well. So I'm only one person, and it's very difficult to sort of troubleshoot things if there's any problems. So if you're interested in being that person, or perhaps a couple of people to help with that, that would be really great. That's about it. So check out the warehouse issue tracker. So it's on github/pypa/warehouse, and you'll be able to see all of the issues that are tagged for EuroPython. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we have one more. 9. Okay, so we can start with the lightning talks. Try to stay short, like 2 minutes. Is that okay? For all the others, sorry, we're running a little late, but we have like only 30 lightning talks, maybe. Okay, the next is then Daniel Pope after. So yours? No, you're the next. So please, okay. Daniel, get in line.
So I'd like to propose we sprint on MicroPython and CircuitPython. I'm only here tomorrow, not on Sunday, but I'm sure there are more MicroPython people here who can continue that for Sunday. So we can show you how to start with MicroPython, how to flash it onto your device, and how to start building things with it. Also, we can show you how to extend it either in Python or in C, how to compile your own firmware and so on. and how to write drivers for custom hardware that you might be acquiring somehow. And last but not least, we can write a simple game for one of the devices that I have with me. So there are also emulators for those, so we can write that in emulator and later.
Okay, thank you. Okay, game is also like a really good word because game is Daniel's name. Next is Thomas then.
Hello, I'm Daniel. If you were here 2 years ago, well, not here, but in Bilbao, you would have heard me talk about Pygame Zero, which is an educational games framework. Well, I'm running a sprint on educational games and and other educational projects. So I have these cool stickers for Pygame Zero that I designed, and they're game pads, and obviously that means gaming, and it's got a Python logo on it. But I forgot that Pygame Zero doesn't have gamepad support, so I'm adding that in the sprints, there are lots of other projects. If you come along, you will be able to get one of these stickers. That's the only way you can get one of these stickers during this conference. And so Pygame Zero, there is a greenfield project that called Crypto Zero. So I'd really like to collaborate on Crypto Zero with somebody, so you could own that as well. There is PyWeek as a games programming contest. I now run that. And the website is unmaintained, or has been lacking maintenance over a long time. So to make that, so one of the goals would be to make it more accessible for complete beginners to participate in PyWeek. There is a 3D MMO in the browser called The Dark World that could be an educational project. And I have an educational games framework called, or text-to-adventure games framework called AdventureLib. So this sprint is accessible to, you don't need to be a great programmer to participate in this. You could do translations or anything, because the more kids who can understand how to use these things, the more programmers we'll have with us in future years here at EuroPython.
Okay,
Join me.
Thank you. So, next in line, Davide. So, this Thomas, yours?
Oh,
Yeah, no, just like Davide. Oh, you sure?
Okay, this is a small demo of Borg Backup. As the name says, it's a Borg backup program. You can back up files with it. And if you are not completely happy with your current backup solution, you maybe want to have a look at this. Because it's in Python, we use also Cython and C. It deduplicates, it encrypts, and it compresses your backups. It also authenticates your backups, so nobody can do something weird with them. For example, if you store them on some untrusted server. And in the sprints, we want to work on some tickets, maybe close some issues. There are also some research tickets. For example, there is currently trouble on Python 3.7. Some unit tests are suddenly failing that did not fail on 3.6. And there is a similar issue on PyPy. There are also some tests failing that are not failing on Python 3.6. So if you want to help researching this, you could also work on that. So if you want to get into it, I can show you the code base, or if you want to just try it and have some issue, just come by. In the background, you see how it's creating the first backup. So that's quite a normal thing. The next one after this will be more interesting, because then you see the effect of deduplication. So you see the first backup was 114 megabytes in size. And now there is a small change in the data. And now it's just creating another backup. And you will see the deduplicated size on the right is the interesting part. And also the time it takes. You see it's much faster than the first one. And it only produced 45 kilobytes, because most of the data was still the same. So it's a quite space-efficient backup. Okay, if that's interesting for you, just come by and help me improving it, fixing it, whatever. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Windel, please get in line, and now please welcome Davide.
Hi everyone. Those days I discovered I'm not the only one who loves trial, so now we are two. I got a buddy, and so we are enough. So it's quite enough to start a party sprint, and so maybe some of you like trial and I don't know about it yet. So if so, just come to see me just after the talks. Just I will buy you a beer. And if tomorrow you're here, let's just continue talking, do the sprint. If you know nothing about asynchronous programming but just curious, you just can come. And yeah, basically that's it. We will sprint on trio and have fun.
Okay, please, Michael, come in line, and please welcome Windel.
Hello everyone. I wanted to sprint on Rust Python on Saturday, so if you want to learn about Rust and help bring Rust Python more in line with CPython 3.7, please help. There's still things to do.
That was quick. Okay, Thomas, please get in line. Please welcome Michael. Yeah, you. Oh, you need that? Okay.
Yeah. So, oh, wrong side. So first of all, I'm sorry, I made a mistake in editing the wiki. So somehow my name also appeared at the MicroPython sprint. So sorry, Radomir, I'm sorry about that. But I always, sorry, I had already the intention to help you, Radomir. So, okay, can you see something? Yeah, fine. So, this is a small notebook application. It's called Red Notebook. And I'm not the inventor of this tool, but I use it already for years now, and I like it a lot. And I see some issues there and some things that I like to add. So I'm going to sprint. If you like, you can also help me in these sprints. And yeah, what else? Sorry, I'm a bit out of order currently. So it's also, of course, it's Python. It's GTK free. You can run it on Windows, Linux, and Mac. And yeah, it has also a source page on SourceForge, and of course also GitHub repository where the code is hosted. So the things that I like to add there is YAML. Sorry, I like to replace YAML by plain text files. I like to add Markdown and pure text output, some updates in the GUI, and maybe some other things that are open in the open issues. What might be interesting, we will be using GTK3, the Glade as UI builder WebKit, Markdown syntax, and of course PyTest with the addition of magic mocks from unit tests. Okay, I would be happy if somebody likes to help me. If not, I'm also fine with that. So you can also go for sightseeing. I will be also around in Edinburgh for the next 2 weeks, for the next week. And if you like, you can get in touch, then we can go to sightseeing together. Yeah, thanks, okay, sorry. Great.
Yeah. Thomas is next. Thomas Aglasinger. No? Romain, then the stage is yours. Okay, Thomas is not around. So if you're around, please report to me. Please welcome Romain, and Roman is afterwards. Please get in line. Roman?
Thank you. So I'll sprint on Bonobo ETL. Some of you may have seen my talk where I introduced a bit the tool, but for those who don't know, it's a extract transform load framework, which basically means it takes data from basically anywhere and transform it and put it somewhere else. Pretty generic said like this, but it's pretty simple. It uses standard Python like callables, iterators to define how those transformations are made. We combine that into graphs and then the data streams through this graph. Maybe it's completely cryptic, but I'll be around and it's very open to any kind of experience, whether you're a Python beginner or Python expert, whether you already use Bonobo a lot or not at all. You're very welcome. It's a very good way to discover the thing and discover all the easy thing that you could do to help on the framework. So yeah, I'll be available for anything to help, and I hope you'll join and try this. Thank you.
Okay, please welcome Roman.
Hi, so I'm Ronan. I'm a co-dev of PyPy, and we'll be sprinting this weekend on PyPy, mostly I think on implementing Python 3.6. We have a branch open, and there are quite a lot of test failures to fix. So basically, if you come to the sprint, you'll get to have an introduction to PyPy. You'll get to, well, it's a very good opportunity to learn how it works, because I know it can be overwhelming for newcomers. But it's actually quite easy to make small changes to PyPy. Well, that's it. If you're interested in PyPy, just come and see me tomorrow.
Okay, please welcome Alex and Stefan. They want to sprint on EuroPython.
Okay, we are a very good event, a great conference, but we have a very good website and with a lot of bugs. Sorry, and we need your help. We are looking for some skills. If you're an expert with Django, please come on. If you're an expert with Ansible, we need your skill. And for us, just that. That will be good. And you?
Well, I've done the badges for the conference. Apart from the apart from the bugs we have on the website to get the profiles of you, there are some other processes to generate these. If you liked the badges, if you hate the badges, if you didn't get the right badge, if you had to write your name on your badge, if you needed if you want emojis on the badges,
for Mayata,
join me in the EuroPython sprint. I will be tomorrow and Sunday morning.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, that's it.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm going to talk about my Shapiro sprint. So what Shapiro, it's a Python module for lexicon-based sentiment analysis. So essentially it extracts opinions from natural language text. And it's currently a byproduct of a master thesis. I'm considering to turn it into a real project. It's named after Dr. Shapiro from the movie Morgan, who asks the protagonist, tell me how you feel, which kicks off eventual events. And the current state, there's some working code. I did a talk about it. I started a cleaned up PyScaffold project. There's a repository and the issue tracker. Well, basically, what does it do? It uses Spacey to do the language processing and then sets up on Spacey and tries to figure out if people are giving positive or negative comments. So how does this look? If you have some code, you run a sentence through it. The schnitzel was not very tasty. The waiter was polite. The football game ended 2-1. And it extracts your opinions. Well, the food is somewhat bad. The service is good. And I have no idea what football is. So what's a schnitzel? That's a schnitzel. And I have compiled a list of possible tasks. So in the, oh, that's a different window, sorry. Hope there's time for that. 5. No, conspiracy. Save. So there's a list of some tasks we could do. Some of them are simple, just to integrate the project into continuous integration. Some of them are things like detecting idioms, like this leaves something to be desirable, this is awful, things like that. Also, improve lexicon. It works with German and English. Maybe some other languages based on Latin also work. We could use modals like should and could. And maybe there's even, if there's someone around who's interested in it, we could do a parser to define languages in an abstract grammar that indicates positive and negative ratings, which basically is what the literature does. So if you're interested in it, join me tomorrow.
Thank you.